Hello students, welcome to Easy Elimu, Learning Simplified. My name is Mr. Stanley Ombogo. So dear students, as usual, I believe that you're doing great. Wherever you are joining us from, and in this video, I'd like to help you differentiate a biography and an autobiography. So these are two functional skills topics that we also have uh, in Form 4 syllabus. They are not common again in our exam papers, but just like I always say, it is important to you know uh, always look at everything so that you are safe. So first of all, allow me start by talking about biography. That is what a biography is. Then later on, we will look at autobiography, and again, we'll also get to compare some of the details that we have, or the basic facts that we have in a biography, and those that we have in an autobiography. So, dear students, a biography is an account of someone's life written by someone else. So, when we say that it is an account of someone's life written by someone else, let me give you an example. So, assuming that I'm writing about maybe a prominent leader. Let me talk about maybe Raila Odinga. So if I am to write about Raila Odinga's life, then what I'm doing is I am writing a biography. So I'm giving an account of someone else's life, not my own. So it is, or it can also say to be a non-fiction text that gives information about the life of a real person. Usually, a biography will tell the important events in the life of the person, describe his or her achievements, and the events that influenced the person's life. So, another thing is that a biography involves more than a person's basic facts, and its purpose is to provide information regarding a person's life or activities. So, it helps distinguish among people with the same name. Yeah, so if maybe we are talking about somebody maybe called Nelson Mandela, for example, and we have more than two people with the same name. So when we give an account of each and every person's life, it will help us differentiate among these people. So um, on to the next thing. Another important thing to note, dear students, is that to be able to write a biography or a biographical sketch, you need to gather a lot of information about the subject, that is whoever you're writing about. And it is advisable, or it is said that the best way to gather such information is by interviewing the person. Of course, there are also other methods that you can use to do your research, but interviewing the individual is one of the ways that you can use to gather information, because when you get first-hand information from the individuals or from the interviewees themselves, then you will be having fact I mean informations that are based on facts. So uh, the basic facts to include in a biography are number one, we have the date and the place of birth of the person, uh, and you are also allowed to include death, that is if applicable, if the person you are writing about is normal. So another basic fact is the current location of resident, where the person lives. Then on to the next basic fact that you must also include is the educational background of the person. That is where he the schools he visited, and everything, generally, the entire educational background. Another thing is the professional experience. What have they done, or where have they served? Sorry. So you must mention the fields where they have served. Yeah. So another basic fact is the area of expertise, which is more or less the same as what I have just mentioned, that is under professional experience. So you are also allowed to include some of the major achievements of the person. And another thing, a career summary, that is giving a career summary or an overview of why the person is interesting or important. So these students also note that biography should be written in the order in which the events occurred. So I have here with me an example of a biography, uh, pretty long, but I'm trying to to be as fast as possible, so that uh, we look at autobiography and look at the differences uh, after doing a comparison. So a biography of Nelson Mandela. Former South African President Rolihlahla Mandela was born on 18th July 1918 in a small village in the Transkei called Mvenzo. Later, he was sent to school in the small town of Kunu, where a teacher gave him the name Nelson. Although of royal lineage, Mandela was the only member of his family who received formal education. And so, from a very young age, he started to unwittingly prepare himself for the great task that lay ahead. In 1939, he enrolled at Fort Hare, the only black university in South Africa at the time, where he forged lifelong friendships with many of those who fought the struggle for freedom with him. He was expelled from university a year later for his political activities, but later completed his studies through UNISA. From 1942 onwards, he became increasingly active with, within the African National Congress, whilst working as an apprentice at a legal firm in Johannesburg and furthering his studies. He later started the first black legal firm, Mandela and Tambo, with a friend and fellow activist, Oliver Tambo, in 1952. During this time, Mandela's natural authority and strategic mind saw him start to emerge as one of the party's leaders and a proponent of the armed struggle, a role that led to several arrests and brushes with the law during the 1950s defiance campaign. But Mandela's luck finally ran out on August 5th in 1962 when he was arrested outside the town of Howick in KwaZulu-Natal, disguised as a chauffeur after having paid a secret visit to ANC President Chief Albert Luthuli, who was living in Grootville under house arrest. Mandela had been on the run for 17 months and had just returned from a trip through Africa, where he had received military training, and to London, where he went to seek support for the ANC. This arrest was the start of what was to become a 27-year incarceration, during which he would become the most famous political prisoner in the world and emerged as the future president of South Africa. Initially, he was sentenced for 5 years for leaving the country illegally and incitement, but then came the Rivonia trial, during which he was sentenced to life, starting his incarceration on Robben Island on June 13th in 1964. At the closing of the Rivonia trial, Nelson Mandela uttered these famous words on behalf of his co-accused. During my lifetime, I have dedicated myself to this struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black uh, domination. I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. And when he emerged from prison in 1990, his most remarkable feat was that he was able to lead the country without bitterness about the past, whilst living out his ideal of creating a non-racial country where everybody was treated with the same dignity. And that is why, decades after South Africa's first democratic election, and even after his death, every South African and every freedom lover around the world will continue to hold Nelson Mandela, or Madiba, his clan name, in the highest regard. So, dear students, that was a pretty long one, just like I said, but it is an example of a biography. So that is, an account of Nelson Mandela's life, sorry, written or given by someone else. So on to the next thing, very fast, that is autobiography. Let us look at autobiography, then, look at the differences. So an autobiography is, different from biography in that it is a non-fiction text that a person gives information about his or her life. So it is therefore written, a written account of one's life by himself or herself. So remember, in biography, we say that you write about someone else's life. But in autobiography, you now write about yourself. You write about your own life. So when writing an autobiography, a person will tell the important events in his or her life, describe his or her achievements, and the events that influence the person's life. So the body of the autobiography deals with the life history of a person, um, place in a creative setting to bring out some of the things that I have listed below. So the first one is your brief description in terms of name, nickname, character, and physical traits. Again, also provide information about your date of birth and environment of your childhood. You can also go ahead to include your home area, ethnicity, nationality, and general citizenship. Um, Another detail that you're allowed to include in your autobiography is your family background, your religion, and the languages spoken in relation to your childhood. Then another thing is your educational background in relation to your strength, weaknesses, role models, and your aspirations. Then there is also, the need to mention some of the major accomplishment in life. That is your major accomplishment in life. And again, some of the employment history and even hobbies. So also take note that it must be written in first person singular narration and be packed in what looks like a story. So dear students, that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you for staying tuned till the end. Once again, I am your teacher, Mr. Stanley Omboko. Until next time, bye.